Well, good morning, everyone. I'm a little behind the eight ball here because I guess Chrome updated and so let me find you something to come on in and leave your comments. We're on a sharp 45 minutes today, and come in and let me know where you're calling from. And let's listen to a little Eric Clapton as you come into the room and get yourself ready for a big weekend, shall we? All right, let me make sure we're live on LinkedIn. Ah, good. Hey. I see you guys. Great. Could rule the world. I'd pull one down for you. Good morning, Nick. Shine it on my heart so you could see the truth. That this love I have inside is everything it seems. How about you? Happy Friday, but not just for now. I find it's only in my dreams, and I can change the world. I will be the sunlight in your universe. You would think my love was really something good, baby, if I could change the world. Hey, Lisa, Dr. Marcia, Nicole, Michelle. And if I could be a queen, even just one day, I'd take you as my king. I'd have it no other way. And our love would rule in this kingdom we've made. Till then I'll be a fool, wishing for the day, and I can change the world, so can you. I would be the sunlight in your universe. You would think my love was really something good, baby, if I could change the world. All right, a little bit of music here. Let me say hello. Good morning, Nick. Hi, how are you? So good to see you. Dr. Marcia, happy Friday. Lisa, you're here. LinkedIn user, I'm guessing, but I love you. Maybe it's Michelle. I could change the world with you. We would be the sunlight in our universe. We would know our love was really something good, baby, if we could change the world, baby, if we could change the world, baby, if we could change the world. Oh, good morning. Have you ever had one of those mornings when technologically nothing worked properly? We are in a double Mercury retrograde. I'm Leslie Flowers. Today is a fast, tight review of the principles of success. Napoleon Hill's classic Think and Grow Rich. Number 2 bestseller of all time. In personal development, second only in sales to the New Testament. And everything that's in here made Napoleon Hill the 20th century's greatest reporter on success. And he was a 20-year-old reporter when Andrew Carnegie found him and put him to work for 20 years without pay, interviewing 500 consistently of our country's most successful, wealthy, happy, and healthy people over time. And Carnegie wanted to know, my friends, how did this very small group of people, Armour, Rockefeller, Edison, Ford, what did they do that the rest of us just didn't get? Now, Napoleon Hill interviewed up to thousands of people, but it was 500 that he did repeatedly over a 20-year period. And out of that came Think and Grow Rich, which didn't start with that title. As a matter of fact, it had this long, funky title. It didn't sell anything. So the story goes. And they took back the book, ripped off the cover, made it Think and Grow Rich, changed nothing inside. Voila. So sometimes the title of your book matters. Hi, Sajid Kumar. So glad you're here. Roman, hi. So good to see you, all of you. Thank you. And tell me why you come every week to this. You know, it's a busy weekend. I'm actually, and Nick and I and Lisa are part of a telesummit. And so we're really tied up for the next 2 days. But I thought about skipping this today. And then I thought, no, there are people that come every week. I'm not going to have them miss a week, because what we know from the fourth principle of success, which I'll cover, is auto-suggestion and self-suggestion. And the way you build a habit followed by perfect faith, habits don't always stick. But if you take it from what they say, 21 days, really 90 days is about the minimum where you can intensely intend a new belief and faith in yourself. But there's a lot that's already there that disallows this one time to be the be all and end all. So by coming here every week, well, I'm not going to tell you. I want you to tell me, why do you keep coming back? What do you get out of it? Is it the same every time? Is it different every time? What about the consistency? It matters to you. You're here. It's like I'm at Dr. Marcia's Tuesday morning, unless I oversleep or forget to set my alarm. It's like my life is filled with habits. Thank you, Roman. My life is filled with habits that I love. Good things that I do, things that light me up. And I hope that this is one of those things for you. Let me see if I can get this thing in here. Google Chrome. I rebooted my system using a lot of resources before that. And all of a sudden they didn't like I looked like a new LinkedIn user with an old picture of me, I guess tied to Google. So I had to jump on. I figured it out. And we are in Mercury retrograde. So let's see, window or screen. Let's do window, and let's do this and allow. This is a little different. Okay, all right. So, okay, I'm just letting you do this thing. Okay, so everybody's here. If there's 3 dots at the bottom of the LinkedIn screen, if you click on it, you can see the event details without losing this live. And if you can share, if you know anybody that would enjoy being here. Look at all the people that are here. Fabulous. Now, on my Monday with Nicole, Mind Over Matter, I will acknowledge each one of you. But today is Fridays are teaching. And because I'm committed to the 2-day telesummit, I'm going to cut this at 11:45 for sure. Let me see what Dr. Marcia says. So my question is what is it? Why do you keep coming back? I know why, but I want to hear from you. I want you to do a little introspection. Why here? Or do you do this with other people? I have a bunch of shows that I go to every week. Right? And then I stop in with other people as much as I can. Consistency, actionable steps, motivation, and faith vibrations, and just a few positive pushes in the right direction. Yes, I love that. It reminds you of what it feels like to feel love. Prayer does it too. There's all sorts of things. But our minds are seized by the negative. We have a sensory overload of negative information. We also have the stars in the sky doing their thing, which they've always done, even though we may not understand how it all works. I got news for you. Stuff happens in Mercury retrograde. The best part about Mercury retrograde is I can blame it on Mercury retrograde when something goes wrong, right? So I don't feel guilty. Like, what did I do wrong? Well, it wasn't me. Thank you very much, the stars and the universe. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then let me ask you another question. Does it always sound the same, or do you have moments where you get a new insight? Does anything ever show up new for you, like you've been here before and you know this information, but what is it? Have you noticed that new things show up? Because that's a sign that you're growing in conscious awareness of your infinite potential, because you're never the same. So hearing it yesterday and hearing it today, you might get two different things. Good morning, Chris Benedella. So glad you're here. Thank you for coming. And Mark is a new friend. I just met him. Gosh, it was on a live. I think it was in the Hot Leisure show Wednesday night at 9:00 with Trevor Van Weerden. And Trevor has studied this work with me in depth. It's so much fun. And here's Leanna Stock. So glad you are here, Leanna. All right. So we're going to hit 30 minutes, which is perfect for what I want to do today. So I'm going to take you through all the principles of success, okay? And I'm going to give you a condensed version. Oh my God. There we go. Okay. It's just me. I have no producer. I'm the producer and everything. So I'm going to run through all of them and give you vital. Let's say that the cream rises to the top. I'm going to give you the best of each one of them that I know. And none of this is written, because I've been doing this for 17 years, 20,000 hours, and I've done 65 quarterly trainings with people in group coaching where we meet every week for 12 weeks. And not only do we cover Think and Grow Rich, but we do universal law, we do accountability, we do all the things that I've learned over 25 years in personal development and 45 in publishing in corporate America. All those things are built into a hybrid program, which I've done 65 of. And also do this for entrepreneurs, but in corporate. All right. All the time. I'm not sure why you're answering that, but that's okay. All right. Let me, oh, I got it. Let me get back here. I get it. The context is decisive, isn't it? So repeating and doing things routinely. I believe that's what you mean. You do that all the time. I don't know. Okay, here we go. Sounds the same. It still sounds different when something important or the personal message from the universe is illuminated. Cool. I love it. Here's Miss Joni. Have a few minutes. Okay. I'm so glad you're here. Here's Peter. By the way, if you don't know Peter, he is a human resources advocate. He's in that business and he's open. He's in the Texas area. Somebody's going to be really lucky. Oops, sorry. Who do you know? One thing I didn't do was turn off my phone. Who do you know that is looking for HR? And there's our brilliant Tracy. Hi, Tracy. Tracy teaches, and I know I'm acknowledging, and I'm running out of time here, but Tracy teaches the art of war. She's a kindred spirit. We're doing guidebooks, but I'm going to tell you something. I've taught over 500 women these principles, and their results are consistent and stellar because they understand how to apply this in a goal that we set every 12 weeks. Oh, and look, here's Shivankar from India. Wonderful. Starting a new podcast, looking for people to be on his podcast. So connect with him and let him know if you're interested. It's kind of a wide open, I think, conversation. Ashif is up in Toronto. So fantastic to see you all. Okay. All right. Let's see. Well, what do you say we get into this? Because I'm going to run you right through, and then I'm going to show you a few fun things at the end. So don't run away when I'm done. Okay. So let's see here. What do we have here? All right. I'll make this big. There you go. Okay. All right. So Think and Grow Rich is read linearly. Some books you can pick up a chapter and read from any point. Some books are designed that way, like Nick has trilogies. And the trilogies are, include 20, 12 people that are writing different stories. So obviously that is not linear. You can read it from beginning to end, right? But, if you're in the mood for this, you might read this or that. So you get the difference. This book is a blueprint on how to think and train yourself to perceive through repetition a certain point of view on what it means to you. So what we're trying to do here, what the aspiration is, that when we become mentally agile, when we can do this, when we can choose what we're going to think about it, we are not under fear. So we have 6 basic fears and they run our lives. Okay. And then we have what we're doing right now. These muscles are not strong enough yet to disprove the fears you have, because fears are real and they stay in your memory. And this is why most people do not step out if they don't know how or they failed before. But the most successful people don't know how, and they disprove the old fear that was true by doing the very thing that scared them. So it really takes some courage and curiosity, and not everybody's ready at the same time. The very first thing, there are 13 principles of success, but I bring a lot of them in. So I'm only doing 10 today. It's okay, though, because these are the most important. Remember, I've been teaching this for 17 years. So there's merging of all these principles within the other principles. And so I want to make this really simple. So before you even start, let me just see what she says here. Oh, yeah. You've done tons of experience with personalities and teaching the same principles. The only time it's challenging is when someone says they're ready and willing to do the work and they really weren't. Sometimes we do things because we want to look good or we think it's a good idea, right? There aren't a lot of people that go through this. So you have to be compelled to do this course. I haven't done it in a while because I've been writing and 65 business quarters. I feel like I've given a lot, right? And there are other things for me to do, but that is the personality distinctions are really whether they are really ready to step away from their fear or they're not. It sounds like a good idea. It doesn't happen often, but as soon as we get into the weekly accountability and setting the goal and what we're doing, that's when the masks come off. But there aren't many. Honestly, most people, when they come to work with me, they know and they're investing. So thank you for that question. All right. Thank you for that. All right. So before you even start, you have to read the introduction and you have to know about definite purpose. It is the seed, the spiritual seed, the idea, and it only takes one sound idea. It doesn't even have to be brilliant. It just has to be one, for which you are completely compelled. almost obsessed. I don't really like to use that word because it has some negative connotations, but you're driven. You don't care much about anything. In fact, you will overcome fear. You want this thing and you're ready and willing. So you will overcome any fear, any doubt, any confusion. And by the way, when fear, doubt, and confusion are together, not a lot gets done. Okay. So definite purpose, it has to be crystal clear. And there's a great story in the definite purpose as we move. In definite purpose about the guy who wanted to go, I didn't review this very well, wanted to go into business with Thomas Edison. Didn't know Edison, lived far away, didn't have a pot to piddle in, okay? But his definite purpose was he wanted to go into business with Thomas Edison. His wife said, you don't have any money if you get on that, and he didn't even have the money for a seat on a train. He rode blind baggage or a rail car. He was compelled. He shows up, and his wife might have said, if you walk out that door, you're not coming back. And who do you think you are? And everybody might have said, you're crazy. It didn't matter. When you have a burning desire, which we're getting into next, it's built on a clear, specific purpose. Purpose, goal, vision, and mission to me are all the same. The focus is so clear on them, and you think about it without realizing it. You don't have to spend all day thinking about it, but it's got to be top of mind. And the reason we only do one is because there's a process. You see the process? If you're doing more than one goal, you may be doing things and you may achieve one or two. I'm not sure. Most people achieve nothing when they have more than one. But when you do one and you take it through the 12-week period, you get to watch the process and repeat it. A repetition is the first law of learning, and that's the fourth for autosuggestion. All right, so we've got a definite purpose. The starting point of all achievement is desire. You love it so much. You see the world through the prism of your desire. You visualize it. You're thinking about it. You're imagining it already done. What will the world be like when you get to take your family on that cruise? The one that you've been dreaming about for 10 years. I did that. That was one of my goals. Mine, though, was not to be with the little portholes on the bottom level. When I went, which was Thanksgiving a couple of years ago, right after COVID, as COVID was calming down, I wanted the top deck, which was the concierge level. Now, let me just tell you, a suite on the concierge level will do 2 rooms on the lower levels, and I had 2 suites. So I had to engineer $16,000. That's how much 2 suites on the concierge level cost. I don't make a lot of money. I'm on Social Security, right? Praise God, it continues. I have other ways, right? I have other sources of income, but I'm just saying I've never really been a wealthy woman. So in order to do the work that I was doing to live it took me almost 10 years to complete that goal. I got real serious about 18 months before, as far as the money part. So you have to have a desire that compels you, that you don't care what people think. You don't care that you failed at it, you flubbed at it. You don't even care that you don't know how, because all you need is 2 steps. Once you get into action, your fear dissipates. You're in action. You're feeling really good. And action kind of outshadows your fears because you're physically in action. So desire is the starting point. Now, what we do is we think about this in spaced repetitive intervals over time, a little bit each day. We could have a vision board. We could have sticky notes. We could have an accountability partner. But the point here is that faith is built through using autosuggestion, which is self-suggestion. It has to be in spaced repetitive intervals over time. It can't be once a week or once every 10 days. Think about how you learned your multiplication tables. I mean, we did them every day, and I was dancing around the house, 5, 10, 15, 20. I was so proud that I got the 5s and the 10s and the 1s. I was very good at that. But it's the repetition. And what actually happens if you've been here if you've been on here before, you know that whatever repetitively you think is eventually impressed into your subconscious mind. You can't reject it when it's there. You can't see it when it's there. Typically, it's fear from a bad experience. Okay. Typically, that's where our fears are. So, by learning this, we're now impressing positive things into the subconscious. Only one thought is going to persist in any given moment. Persist isn't the right word. So, it's really up to you. There's only one thing that we can control: what we think, how often we think it, the frequency and consistency, and how we feel. Because mind is a cellular activity, and what you think affects how you're walking, talking, and feeling. Every cell works in unison toward the positive. When you're thinking positive predominantly, the reverse is also true. So this work is about training our mind to be objective when things happen, to find the best solutions, and not to be ruled by fear, which we all are to an extent, even me to this day. Not as much, very rarely, but still, right? It doesn't go away. You have to have both. That's the law of polarity. You've got to have faith and fear. We can make our focus be faith. Default is fear. You're not smart enough. Look at those grades, the things that you heard without people realizing what they were doing to you through repetition is actually installing fear. And you have perfect faith in it. So why wouldn't you be afraid? You would. Let me see what else is here. I don't have a whole lot of time, but I do want to see. Let's see here. Let me just see what Sajid says. Based on Think and Grow Rich, inspired by. Oh, thank you. You wrote something for me? Oh my gosh. Thank you, Sajid Kumar. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's just see what Roman says here. A professional net on his page. Be sure to connect with Roman. He's up to really good things. Oh, look who's here. Okay, Harvey. I'm so glad you're here. Harvey's been coming to these things for about 2 years. All right, so what we're doing today, for those who have come in a little bit late, hi, Bethan. Bethan is a coach in the United Kingdom. So what we're doing is really encapsulating the 12, the process. So the first thing, of course, is the purpose. It's got to be clear, Crystal. Don't move on it unless it is. Think about it. Visualize yourself already having it. Visualization is the DNA of manifestation. So you build faith in spaced repetitive intervals over time. When you do something you haven't done before, you failed at, and you complete it, you've now disproven the fact that you could do it when you didn't know how. You could do it when you failed at it before, but you got to be ready and willing. And not everybody is at the same time. So you really have to ask yourself. Now, the next thing we pull in is imagination. This is our connection to the universe. We are co-creators. Remember, this is my point of view. It's what I've learned over 25 years in personal development and a lifetime of all sorts of different exciting adventures. All right. And so take what you like from it. If it resonates, embrace it. If it doesn't, let it go. My way isn't the only way, but this is a way that it's documented. It works. I have them all written. 500 people with 12-week goals, where they started, what their progress was, and where they ended. And this particularly in an emerging enterprise in medical devices, where I spent 2.5 years doing masterminds, teaching this every week by Zoom. And their goal was whatever phase their project they were in. So because it was something they weren't positive they could do, but they had done something similar, what I had to do with this, with corporate, was to remind them why we're doing it. What difference will these medical devices make in the world for yourself, abundance wise. So it's still the same stuff. I'm so glad you're here. Okay. So imagination, two kinds. Imagination is one of our 6 intellectual faculties, mental muscles, things that we can build in direct proportion to their use. So we're practicing here. That's what we're doing. We're practicing agile thinking. That's what I call it. Okay, so as co-creators, the way we get our ideas is through imagination and intuition. These are conscious, mental, intellectual faculties. Your intuition is not your gut, by the way. Gut is a reaction, an instinctive reaction based on fear, and it's not thinking. There's been a lot of confusion about what intuition is, and it's going to stop you from really understanding your intuition if you think it's your gut reaction. It's not. This is how the universe communicates with you. All ideas are already here. You get an idea that you've never had before. That's creative imagination. As soon as you get the idea and you fall in love with it, oh my God, I'm doing this. I never thought of that before. Immediately, synthetic imagination takes over and begins building a picture, a visual image of you having this thing. Now, there's a lot of missing pieces, but you've got creative imagination, an idea from the universe. They move, all ideas are here, and they go from form, thought energy, through form, us, back into matter. That's the simple way to explain the transmutation of radiant energy or alchemy. Basically, you're taking an idea, which is thought energy, and turning it into physical form. This is what alchemists do, but don't be afraid of the word. It's powerful. It's really powerful. So then your synthetic imagination comes in and starts building this beautiful visualization. Now you got at least a partial picture, right? Enough to see and get excited. And when you see it, the vibration, the excitement of already having it is tied to the visual image. So whenever you think it, it spikes your cellular vibration. The universe will give you whatever you ask for based on how you're feeling on what you're thinking. So if you think positive a lot, you're going to end up with results that match that positive. If you are overwhelmed with fear, the universe sends more fear. I don't want any more bills. Please don't send me any bills. And bills show up. But what you could say and think is, oh, I'm so grateful for everything I have. And I'm surprised when money comes to me from unexpected sources. Have you ever had that? When something shows up and you've got that, it's exciting. And the other thing you can do is 5 sensorize this. When you're visualizing the thing you want, think about what you're smelling, seeing, hearing, tasting, and touching. Okay? That actually amps up your cellular vibration because look, the way you feel, not emotions, but well, yes, for emotions are negative, low vibration, but thinking about what it is you want and what difference it's going to make in the world when you hold it in your hand will drive your cellular vibration up. And that's the message you're sending to the universe. As co-creators, the universe and God hears us through prayer, through visualizing what we want and feeling love. Okay. All right. How are we doing? Oh, God, I got to get going here. Okay. All right. Then the next thing you want to know is decision. The opposite of decision is procrastination, and it's the biggest stopper, right? So one of the things, by the way, you were going to tell me for the new people who came in, why do you keep coming back every week? What do you notice? You've heard this before. Have you started explaining this to anybody else once you actually got something? See, you may not be able to right now. It took me a long time to internalize this, so I got it so clearly that I could explain it to you. So there will come a time where you will see the concept so clearly and you will have done it that you will start telling other people. Don't tell them until you're sure, though. Okay. All right. So, decision. If you have a definite purpose and it's only one, decisions are a breeze. You ask one question, something shows up, a new opportunity to do something different, but you're in a goal. You're already moving, whether it's 12 weeks, 24 weeks, whatever time limit you decide. 12 works very nicely because we can stay motivated long enough, right? And then we want to go to something else. It's about as long as I'll stay focused on something. But then we start another 12 weeks with a different goal, right? So, okay. Ask this one question. If I do this thing, will it take me directly to my purpose or not? If this opportunity shows up, this is hard. This is a boundary, but you have to do this with decision in order to achieve your goal based on what I've gathered from this work. So you're going to have to say to the person who offered you this new opportunity that you're really excited and want to do, but you're already on this path. You've committed. You're in love with this. You see the world through the prism of already having this, but you also love this. You just say to the person, oh, what a great idea. I'm working on something. Could we get together and have a conversation in 6 weeks? Would that be okay? Most people will say, absolutely. You don't throw it away, but you also do not allow the interruption. So if you have a definite purpose and you got an opportunity, you really don't know what to do, and you've got a decision to make, ask the question. If I do this, will it take me directly to my goal or not? If it won't, don't do it now. If it will, then you've got a bit of a challenge in how to work it all in, right? Because everything that you've been manifesting, there's low-hanging fruit that comes in. So there are going to be interruptions along your path. And that's where you have someone like me or an accountability partner or an advisor or a coach that can help you determine how best to coordinate this. Don't just take it all on and do everything because you'll burn yourself out. All right, so then we go on to persistence. It's the sustained effort that induces faith. So you've got to have a definite purpose, deep desire, and the persistence. Those are givens. If you only have those, only have a definite purpose, desire, and persistence, and you don't use any of the other ones, you will achieve. If you're missing any one of those three, you won't. Persistence is to discipline in the same way, where this consistency, doing it whether you like it or not, because you're compelled and you're focused on the outcome. Okay. Then we went into the sixth sense, which is intuition. 100 years ago, they didn't know much about subconscious or intuition. He called it, Napoleon Hill called it the sixth sense. All you need to know right now about intuition, that it's conscious. Intuition and imagination are how the universe hears our vibration, how we're feeling through intuition. When our intuition speaks, it's a feeling and it's from the universe. It's not the same as gut, which is a reaction based on fear. So there's a lot of collapsing of ideas. Mind and brain, not the same. One's an organ and one's an activity, but people interchange them all the time. So the fun part is really kind of digging in here and distinguishing what's really going on in our mind, in our thinking processes. And we've covered the subconscious mind. You've got conscious, which is thinking. We can reject, we can accept, we can step away, we can choose to listen or not. But once we repetitively think something over and over and over and over again, it will impress into the subconscious where it lives like the truth. You can't see it, but you can tell what you really have faith in by your results. Your results always match what you believe about your ability and your deservability. And fear goes a long way to let you know that you aren't deserving and you aren't capable. And that's why you follow this pattern and you will build new faith in your ability and deservability. But you have to have a definite purpose and you have to be ready and willing. Give yourself a break. If you're not ready and willing, say, I'm not ready and willing. And then we went into the 6 basic fears. Now, Napoleon Hill was very clever to put the fears at the end in the epilogue rather than in the beginning. For me, if I had read the 6 basic fears in the beginning, I wouldn't have read the book. But at the end, he was very smart. You now understand enough where you can objectively look at these fears, and I will tell you what they are so that we can move on. The first one is the fear of criticism or judgment. We've all had it. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. You did it wrong. I had someone say to me yesterday, I felt like such an a-hole that I forgot your name. And this is an accomplished woman who's a friend. I said, oh, think nothing of it. I didn't even think about it. She said, I can't tell you how bad I felt. I said, let it go. I said, it didn't bother me at all. I know you know me. But this isn't a mature, professional woman. That's why our fears are so important. So we've got fear of judgment or criticism. Big one. That's why we don't like to speak in front of people. Fear of poverty. Well, we can't afford it until X happens. We got to wait for the taxes to come in. So poverty is our installed mindset unless you're born into wealth, and you never hear those things. And repeatedly, month after month, year after year, the same message is sent. Eventually, that we can't afford it impresses into your subconscious mind. You can break it by buying something you really can't afford and doing it anyway. You can begin to. It's scary. It's fearful. But it's also amazing. Okay, and then we have fear of illness or ill health. COVID, real. People died. It's a real fear. Then you have the fear of loss of love. That's a breakup. Someone dies. You divorce. Something like that. That love, something you love or someone you love is taken away. And then old age and death. Okay? So I'm no longer afraid of old age because I'm old. You'll find when you get older, it doesn't matter so much, but when you're younger, it does. All right. Let me just see what Nick says. I'm going to go 5 more minutes so I can finish this up if you'll be patient with me. Yes. Well, at least one of them at a time. You can't kick all 6. You want to get real smart at figuring out which trigger it is. Right? Why am I feeling this way? Why am I afraid? Why do I feel sick in the pit of my stomach? Right? That's what fear does. It lowers your vibration. Remember, mind is cellular. So all the cells in your body feel lousy. All right. So I wanted to share with you that the Possibility of Errata audiobook, which is my 2024 first fiction bestselling in literature and fiction and science fiction and fantasy. Now there's digital, print, and audio. And early April, actually starting this next week, you'll start seeing signs that we're having a launch. And I will tell you, I read this book. And I will tell you that it's one of the finest things I've ever done. I just have to tell you. All right. And I want to end today with the theme song for the audiobook. This was all a dream that started 25 years ago. I understand visualization. So what I'm going to show you is the result of 2 people, Erin Gibson and myself, putting our heads together with the same outcome, which is living a life of virtues, values, and soul-kissing love. And what I will do is show this to you, and I will sing along. I wrote the words. Erin wrote the music and did the video from a 7.5-minute book trailer that he did last summer for the launch of The Possibility of Errata. I love you all. I hope this was helpful. I recommend that you go back and watch it again. We'll start the new series next week. And I believe I know that if I do this, you can still hear me. So I'm going to go ahead and start this. And you guys have a great weekend. Reach out to me. I've loved doing this. I'm off to the Telesummit as soon as we're finished. So stay as long as you like. What kind of love can transcend time in a breath and feel as fresh as the sun's morning dew that lives forever in between the spaces of yesterday, today, and tomorrow, all at once and forever. Safe among the folds of warm inspiration and obsessive lightness, do hearts swim through eons of time, one with wings, the other with vision, of a place and space where life is honored and entwined together. Souls connect forever when achieving errata. Soft space for Lee and Van, star-crossed lovers. A love built on life, of life over time and forever. Souls connect forever when achieving errata. The soft space for Lee and Van, star-crossed lovers. A love built on love of life over time and forever. All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that. Have a fabulous weekend. I appreciate you so much. And I'll see you Monday for Mind Over Matter Mondays. Thank you for being here.